Weather impacts literally every aspect of our lives, including the wine that we drink. So I'm at Acheson Wine Company in Midtown in Sacramento to find out how the weather impacts the grapes that they use and what are the ideal growing conditions for wine in our region. So let's go meet the owner and the winemaker. Come on. We are joined by owner Lorraine Scott and winemaker Steve Birch. When is your growing season?
The season starts with bud break, and that usually depends on the area, but it could be anywhere as early as mid-February when the vines start growing to as late as late April. And then it runs until like the last grapes are usually picked in the coolest areas late October, early November.
Acheson grows their grapes in Lodi. Is Lodi a good place to grow?
Well, because there is a cooling influence from the Delta. It does cool off there more at night than it does here in the city. They have adapted to the increase in temperatures from climate change, like most places have. What it means right now is most grapes are harvested a little earlier than they were previously because they're getting ripe earlier.
How do the cooler temperatures at night impact the wine?
You retain acidity. You retain a lot more, for lack of a better way to put it, character. The grapes are going to have more color, they're going to have more tannin, they're going to have more character than grapes that have been exposed to heat and a warmer night.
Will Lodi be a sustainable location to grow wine in the future?
As temperatures go up, there's going to be more impact on the types of grapes you can grow in certain areas, and even whether or not you can grow grapes in certain areas, because the heat will get to a point where, yeah, the grapes get ripe, but do they make good wine? Mm-hmm. No. I mean, so it's grape culture, viticulture is going to be migrating towards the coast and towards the north. If you line up wines from, you got a wine from Carneros, and you got a wine from Lodi, and you got a wine from Nevada County, exact same grape, even grown exactly the same way, they're going to taste very different. Really? Very different. Different acidity, different chemistry, different fruit levels, different aroma characteristics just by what the fruit expresses based on the climate that it's exposed to.
Have the California wildfires ever impacted your wine?
We were not as affected in Lodi, but there were certainly there were areas that had gotten some smoke damage. And the smoke damages the grapes in such a way that you don't know until you've fermented them. So you could bring the grapes in, you could taste them. Now there are tests, luckily, so that you can take the grapes to a lab that has the ability to test for the smoke markers, the chemical markers that say these grapes have been exposed to smoke, and not make wine out of them. Because it actually, the chemical compounds, really they soak through the skin and they cause the juice to taste like, well, in the worst cases, an ashtray.
How do you think the weather this year will affect your wine?
I actually have really, really, really high hopes for this year because we've had such a cool growing season, but now we're getting some heat. And traditionally, when we have that combination, we have higher quality wine. I won't get into the details. A buddy of mine did a bunch of neural net analysis of this when we were in college. We compiled 25 or 30 years of wine ratings versus weather data. And he plugged it into what was at the time the cutting edge AI program on his computer and came up with these parameters whereby if you have a cooler than average growing season, but you have a heat spike in August, possibly two, then you have the highest quality wine.
After talking with Steve, it sounds like the summer we had is perfect for wine growing. So I feel like we learned a lot and we drank some delicious wine. So check out Acheson next time you're in Sacramento.